Police found multiple dead bodies on that farm in Sicily. Did you kill him?
9 seconds. Do I look like a killer?
Denzel is back as Robert McCall in the highly anticipated Equalizer 3. The movie begins in Sicily, Italy, when a mob boss is in a car with his son. They are on the way home and discover that McCall has massacred a faction of the ground-level mafia henchmen called the Camorra. Equalizer 3 doesn't waste any time to get straight to the action right off the top, so we see McCall sitting in a chair surrounded by these henchmen with guns pointed at him. They're asking him all these questions. What are you doing? Who are you? Why are you here? He answers, you took something that didn't belong to you. So McCall gives them a final chance to do the right thing. Of course, they choose the wrong thing, so he starts his stopwatch and gives them a 9-second countdown and begins slaughtering the entire room. Afterwards, we see McCall with a mystery backpack. Now, we don't find out exactly what's inside this backpack until the final scenes of the movie, and I'll get back to that. McCall leaves the house and ends up being shot in the back by the son of one of the mafia henchmen. Suffering from his gunshot wounds, he ends up passing out, probably from blood loss. He is taken in by the locals of the seaside village Altamonte, and they basically take him in as one of their own and nurse him back to health. So Equalizer 3 takes his time establishing the friendly rapport that McCall builds with a local doctor, a local police officer, and a friendly bistro owner. One of the things I've always appreciated about the Equalizer franchise is the fact that we get to see McCall build a genuine connection and bond with the community and its locals, versus it just being like action and guns throughout the entire movie. This movie explores the theme of people ending up where they belong, as McCall finds a sense of humanity and peace in the seaside village that he is now in. So unfortunately, the village locals are being bullied and threatened by the Camorra mafia. After they push the violence too far, McCall is forced to step in and take action and do what's right. Starring alongside Denzel Washington is Dakota Fanning, which is super fun to see because nearly 20 years later, we finally get a reunion with the two stars from the classic film Man on Fire. Dakota is all grown up now, but you can still see the chemistry that they established so many years ago with Man on Fire. I looked up a couple of interviews just to see how they interact with each other behind the scenes and stuff like that. Nothing but laughs and jokes. You could tell that they were happy to be working together again. Denzel was making a few jokes saying that Dakota is too busy for him now. She doesn't pick up the phone. It was just funny to see them interact. Dakota said that Denzel will always be her creasy bear. So it was just good to see that reunion 20 years later, thanks to Man on Fire. So Dakota Fanning plays a CIA agent named Emma Collins that McCall chooses to give information to about a designer drug operation involving the Camorra Mafia. Collins is skeptical of McCall at first, seeing him as a person of interest to the related crimes, but realizes that he's just an interesting person. So Collins and McCall start to form their own relationship, and she starts building trust up with him. She realizes that he actually is a good person, but she begins to wonder why he specifically chose her to be involved in this whole situation. And that question will be answered at the end of the film also. So along with the bullying and threatening of the village, we learned that the Camorra Mafia also took part in a cybercrime where they stole the pension of a retired man in Boston who is now on the brink of losing his home and being forced to move. Towards the end of the movie, we learned that McCall came to Italy with the sole intent of giving this man his pension back, which was $360,000. After McCall defeats the mafia boss in the third act of the film, he goes to visit Collins with the mystery bag. Now, they're having a conversation. She doesn't really understand why he would go to such lengths to help a man that he doesn't even know. So Collins delivers the bag to the retired man whose pension was stolen. And once the man opens the bag with his wife and he sees the $360,000 and they start rejoicing and they're crying, Collins finally gets it. She finally understands. It's just about doing the right thing. So that answers the question in the beginning of the film when McCall was sitting in the chair being questioned by the henchmen with the guns on him. And they were asking, what are you doing? Why are you here? And when he said, you took something that didn't belong to you, that's what he was referring to, that bag. That money that they stole from that man, his pension. The last lingering mystery running throughout the film is why McCall chose to help a random CIA agent. They form a nice bond, but McCall always avoids answering the question on why he specifically chose to contact her. The final scene in Colin's office reveals the answer to this question. So McCall gives Collins his black book with a message inside stating, "Your mother would be proud." Now Collins looks at a graduation pic that's on her desk, revealing that she is the daughter of McCall's old friends, Susan and Brian Pullman, from the first 2 Equalizer movies. So I thought it was a pretty cool way to tie in all 3 movies. And another sign that McCall is ready to hang up his equalizing ways and retire, signaling that he has found peace in where he belongs. Yep, so all in all, Equalizer 3 is pretty good. It's pretty solid to me. You got a good story, you get the brutal, bloody action scenes that we love from Denzel, the visual aesthetic, cinematography was fire, the pacing of the movie was good. It was actually the shortest movie in the whole trilogy, so they got straight to the point with it. If I had to give a con, I would just say maybe introduce a third level that is actually capable of stopping or killing McCall. Throughout the film, when I'm watching it, I could just tell that Denzel will come out on top no matter what. So maybe introduce something that actually give us a fear factor. But all in all, it's a pretty good, solid movie, man. 8 out of 10 in my book, for sure. I've been seeing that the director, Antoine Fuqua, has maybe suggested Equalizer 4, maybe featuring a de-aged Denzel Washington, or maybe even bringing in his son, John David Washington, as some type of prequel. I would like to know how everybody feels about that. Please leave that in the comments. My opinion, I hope that they leave it alone. You know, you got 3 solid movies. You told a good story. Leave it alone. You gotta know when to say when. You gotta know when to pivot into something else. Me personally, leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Just leave it alone, man. But drop it in the comments if you would like to see Equalizer 4. And thank you for supporting my page. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and see you on the next one.